I'm excited to be able to talk to you today about what I believe will be the impact of AI on school libraries. I've always been interested in what new technology and about in what's new in technology and how it can be used within a school library setting. I've known for a long time that being one step ahead of our students is an important skill to have. Way back in 2013, I worked out a way to connect a group of school children in Guernsey to a group in Canada, way before it was possible to WhatsApp or Zoom. Did it work perfectly? No. But the realization that it was possible to connect students across the world, for me at the time, was mind-blowing. And the impact that it could have on student learning and engagement was substantial. I made it my mission then to stay up to date with new technology as much as I could. Strangely enough, then, when ChatGPT launched onto the scenes at the end of 2022, I wasn't quite ready for it. I planned to ignore it for a while, but it became obvious very quickly that this was something that just was here to stay, and it was important to put my fears aside and begin to learn how to use it. I'm by no means an expert in all of this, but the great thing is that as it's so new, that not many people are. There is still plenty of time to learn. You can't be part of the conversation if you have no understanding of it in the first place. I'll spend the next 20 minutes exploring what I've learned about the transformative impact of generative AI could have on schools. I will delve into the challenges and benefits of AI and how it can be leveraged to initiate meaningful conversations and increasing the profile of school libraries within the broader educational landscape. And lastly, I'll explore the skills needed by students to navigate the world of AI and how school librarians can step up to this challenge. So let's get started. So you might be pleased to hear that even though there is much talk about AI in schools, it's not yet mainstream and seems a little way off yet. There are still many obstacles for schools to navigate, and depending on where you are in the world, some will be slower than others. However, we need to remember that just because schools are not ready for it yet does not mean that students and teachers aren't already using it. Whilst the powers that be, governments and education departments, work out how to enable the safe use of AI within schools, it's important that school librarians are being proactive in learning and engaging with what is available now. So let's start at the beginning and explain what I understand about AI. If you've listened to my podcast called AI Friend or Foe, the School Librarian's Perspective, you will have heard Dr. Kay O'Doney say that AI is not such a new technology and it's been around for over 70 years. You will definitely have been using it yourself over the last few years, and there are a few examples that hopefully you'll recognize. So we've got the spell check and the autocorrect. Search engines such as Google and Bing, they bring up recommended websites based on AI algorithms. Obviously, that's all changing with AI and Google Bard and all of that kind of stuff now. Alexa, Siri, and Google Assist are using AI to help. Online shopping uses AI to create recommendations and provide chatbots to make the experience simpler. Your sat nav, your banking app, and yeah, I could go on. Most of the above are trained on a small amount of data. So if, for example, you asked your banking app what the weather was going to be like next week, it wouldn't be able to answer as it doesn't have the right data. We have seen new technology advances in education over the last 30 years. The introduction of the internet in the early 1990s had a big impact on school libraries. My own children were often told to go home and click. I would, of course, make them look at my encyclopedia collection at first, of course. But many schools at the time introduced IT rooms full of computers, and physical libraries started shrinking. Then came the introduction of whiteboards and iPads, along with lots of different online tools to go with them. The problem with most new technology in schools over the years has always been the lack of training. So much of it went unused as it took too long to learn. And often by the time the self-learning was done, something new had come along. I've known many teachers say that they're not going to even try with the next new thing because of this. We've also seen a massive increase in digital and online learning, giving students access to more information than ever before and the ability to easily connect with others across the world. Thankfully, we seem to have slowed down in the attitude that everything is on the internet, so why do we need libraries? as some have now begun to recognise and understand that books and the skill set of the school librarian is still important. We also see with this new AI technology that although you do need to understand how it works, it is something that you can just start using. You don't need specific training on it. You don't need to download or buy anything. You just register and are ready to go. This side of this new technology does make it very accessible to most people. So my advice is to be brave, be cautious, but be curious. So let's start with the elephant in the room, the challenges of AI in education. We cannot ignore the digital divide, where students from disadvantaged backgrounds may lack access to technology and the internet connectivity. Along with access to more information comes the problem of information overload, digital distractions, and the potential negative effects on social interaction and well-being. We also need to consider the importance of responsible technology use, digital citizenship, and fostering a healthy balance between digital and offline activities. There are huge concerns about the ethical implications of this new technology, from concerns about where the information it creates comes from, who deserves the credit for the information, its ability to make things up or hallucinate, and based on how the information was taken and created, there are also concerns about bias too. It will be even more important for our students and teachers to be skeptical about what they're reading and seeing online, from poor information being given as fact to deep fakes where people's voices and videos are being used to say things that was not said by them. Katie Couric et al. Called this problem information disorder. When bad information becomes as prevalent, persuasive, and persistent as good information, it creates a chain reaction of harm that makes any health crisis more deadly, slows down our response time on climate change, undermines democracy, and creates a culture in which racist, ethnic, and gender attacks are seen as solutions, not problems. The safety of data is also a concern. It's really important that we remember that nothing personal should be shared with AI tools. There are no regulations about how the data is going to be used and shared. And just as we tell our students not to share personal data online, the same applies to AI. It's easy to forget that it's just a chatbot when you're actually talking to it. So let's take a look at the benefits. So the use of AI technology in education will bring about many ways to enhance student learning, but also help teachers and school librarians to quicken admin tasks, from creating lesson plans to new book lists. This doesn't mean, however, that you never have to do them again, unfortunately. What it does mean is it's more time for you to get creative and enhance these lessons and lists in a productive way. Everything still needs your input, but just speeds up the basic process, which can be helpful. Just as we teach our students to be critical, we must also remember to practice what we teach. AI is going to bring with it the ability to enhance student engagement, create personal learning experiences, and this new technology can provide easily accessible, differentiated learning for all students, allowing educators to cater to diverse learning needs and styles for their students, whilst giving them access to a huge wealth of online resources and information. The benefits of any new technology in school can be seen to increase motivation and improve academic attainment, but it's important that those teaching with it understand the pitfalls as well as the benefits. One of the huge benefits I see coming is the opportunity for schools to move away from teaching to the test and engaging more with inquiry-based learning. AI has caused so many problems in schools with the worry of plagiarism and the ability to generate essays with AI. I can't really see how education can stay the same going forward. This is a huge opportunity for school librarians and one they should be preparing for now. So how do school librarians do this? I think it's important to take a look at what school librarians do best. They are teachers of learning itself. And in saying that, it's important for our school librarians to think more about the process and skills needed to incorporate AI into the curriculum. We often talk about teaching information and digital literacy, and we now have AI literacy looming. Sadly, looking across schools, especially in the UK, we can't claim to have done a good job in teaching these skills on a basic level, never mind introducing AI into the mix. How many of our students can use a search engine effectively, or even how to use Google properly? As we know, they like to type the question in, but often it's not a very good question. We haven't even been able to embed the skills of citing and referencing within our curriculums. So what makes us believe that we can teach AI literacy? We have to come back to the learning process for us and for our students. School librarians need to keep learning too. We also need to be using tools that we already have at our disposal, using a framework, for example, that will enable us to decide at what stage and age should we be implementing AI literacy, and how can we practically do it effectively. I'll come back to that a little bit later. So what skills are we going to be focusing on in AI literacy? So there are many articles written about AI in education at the moment, and it's really hard to keep up. Make sure you're on LinkedIn following the likes of Dr. Kay O'Doney, Dan Fitzpatrick, and Darren Coxon, to name a few. Reading what researchers and educators are saying is really important now. As an example, I came across Balancing Technology with Human Agency by Alison Yang the other day, and it's a great example of what teachers are writing about and gives me hope that there is an open door for school librarians if we're willing to take it. Within this article, Alison talks about what students are going to need when using AI within education. Her list includes many skills: communication skills, social skills, thinking skills, self-management skills, research skills. Yeah, sounds exciting, doesn't it? So let's start with communication skills and what that means. So communication skills include interactive and language skills. Interactive will not only mean joining in conversations, but also being able to communicate with AI effectively through prompting. A prompt, for those who may not know yet, is a term used to ask AI a question. For so long, students have been expected to regurgitate the information that teachers have given them in order to pass their exams, which has led to a generation of students who find it very difficult to participate in a conversation where they're required to have an opinion on something. They have a fear of saying the wrong thing, of not knowing the answer, of feeling silly amongst their peers, which admittedly has always been a problem in school. However, it will be essential for students going forward in this new AI world to be able to do these things, especially think for themselves. Sorry. Communication skills will also include language skills: writing, interpreting, evaluating and reading critically will all be part of this. Students with strong communication skills will be better equipped to engage in critical thinking and articulate well-reasoned arguments. Communication skills will be essential for effective teamwork, project management, and will be a valuable asset in navigating the increasing interconnected and technology-advanced world. We'll then need social skills, which is mainly about collaboration, which involves the ability to work effectively with others towards a common goal. It encompasses communication, teamwork, and a shared commitment to achieving objectives. In a collaborative environment, individuals contribute their unique strengths, ideas, and perspectives while respecting those of their peers. Successful collaboration requires active listening, open communication, and the flexibility to adapt a different working style. Developing collaboration skills is essential for navigating new AI technologies, diverse settings, fostering innovation, and achieving collective access in various personal and academic endeavours. Thinking skills can be broken down into two areas: critical thinking and creative thinking. Critical thinking, as you will all know, enables students to evaluate what they find and read and helps them think about potential biases, change their questions, or even ask different questions, whilst also considering multiple perspectives. This is especially important when we consider the information that AI can now throw out. Before AI, it was a job to help students learn how to think critically. I think it's going to be even harder in this new AI world. Creative thinking is something a little new. It'll be important for students to learn that just because AI can help generate an idea, it doesn't have to stop there. It will be important for students to work on independent thinking, to create a new idea or learning by using AI to modify their questions, which may lead to an unexpected response. This skill will help students create new and original perspectives. The skill of self-management includes organization, independence, and reflection. Does this sound like study skills to you? Anyway, organization is all about ensuring that the right tools are used for the right job and maintaining a good balance between using AI and independent thinking. Independent thinking will be helping students to consider biases and the ethics of using AI, an awareness of misleading or manipulative content, and how to action appropriately in these circumstances. The skills of reflection in the AI world is going to be essential. It'll be important to learn to think critically in order to develop learning and understanding rather than passively accepting AI-generated responses. Research skills is the biggest of these. As school librarians, we all know about media and information literacy. Silip's definition states information literacy is the ability to think critically and make balanced judgments about any information we find in use. It empowers us as citizens to develop informed views and to engage fully with society. But there is more to research skills than just media and information literacy or even AI literacy. If you have read anything I write or heard me talk before, you will have heard me talking about FOSSIL, a framework of skills for inquiry learning. Darryl Turian, the creator of FOSSIL, writes the following on his website. It's important to recognize that although the focus on these skills about finding relevant, age-appropriate and authoritative resources and gathering information in response to a broad inquiry question, students who are taught social and emotional competencies along with cognitive skills of inquiry can become confident in and motivated in the pursuit of their investigation and, in fact, future learning. Students can begin to recognize, respect, and empathize with the diverse perspectives, opinions, and cultures that surround them, both within school and the larger world. In that process of discovery, students clarify their own perspectives and develop confidence in their own ability to learn. I hope that you can see what Darryl is talking about is also what Alison Yang and many other educators are saying. We need to be thinking beyond media and information literacy and even beyond AI literacy to focus on the whole child, and FOSSIL will allow us to bring all the skills previously mentioned and more. FOSSIL is something that I have been involved with for over 10 years. It encompasses all that I've been talking about and more. I won't go into the wonders of FOSSIL, as I hope you will have already seen Darryl, Jenny, and Barbara's talk earlier today. What I do want to say is that knowing and understanding what skills AI users are going to need in the future means the connection with FOSSIL and inquiry learning is huge. Librarians not only have the skills, but they also have the tools available to have important and essential conversations with teachers. I hope that this talk has helped highlight the skills students need, the expertise that you bring, and the need for continuous learning, and I hope opens the door to endless conversations. If you fancy chatting with me about any of this, you can find me on X, LinkedIn, and Facebook, as well as my website. Remember, be brave, be cautious, but also be curious. Thank you for listening.